Welcome to our session on Operations Dashboard for Reporting Needs. My name is Lindsay Miller, and I am a GIS coordinator with the Stormwater Billing Data Group.
And I am Christy West, and I'm a senior analyst with the Public Works GIS department.
Today, we will be presenting on how we used Operations Dashboard and Portal to enhance one of our stormwater utility billing reports that has a large impact on budgeting and decisions made by City Council. The stormwater utility fee is based on the total amount of impervious area or hard surfaces on an individual property, such as the roof line of the house, as well as the driveway, walkway, and any utility buildings or sheds. Impervious area totals are manually created or hard surfaces by specialists based on the most up-to-date imagery available. Impervious area totals are then imported into our billing software, which matches the address point of the parcel to an individual account. These accounts are broken up into billing routes, and the stormwater fee is added to the account to bill on either an annual or monthly basis. To put this into perspective for you, we currently have over 82,000 active stormwater services. These services are separated into 21 billing routes, 5 of which are stormwater-only routes. Each of these routes contain thousands of customers, with the stormwater-only routes totaling about 20,000 customers alone. When residents contact us in regard to their stormwater utility fee, we log the details of our interaction, such as the contact information, account number, reason for contacting us, and how the situation was resolved in a separate database. We use the data generated by our customer interactions to produce a monthly summary report. The original report was created out of necessity and left much to be desired. There is no visual representation, and there is no way to quickly identify key metrics without being familiar with the report. In addition to being unattractive, the report itself took about 30 minutes to an hour to produce. The 2 sections highlighted come from 3 separate queries that need to be manually run and filtered, and they still produce inaccurate data. For example, the adjustments section is only calculating the adjustments that were 1, recorded by the specialist, and 2, they are the adjustments that were done as a result of some type of customer contact. In reality, it's not uncommon for a specialist to adjust 30 to 50 billing statements in one day. Finally, the layout of the report in general is confusing and unorganized. For example, the section highlighted in red would lead you to believe that the most common customer inquiries came from email contact alone. In reality, this section represents the most common inquiries from all forms of contact. Because we in the Billing Data Group are the primary audience of this report, we decided that it was time to reevaluate our reporting process. Our primary need was an automated reporting process that could provide accurate data and shareable content. What we wanted was an automated reporting process with accurate data, shareable content, and make the key metrics more interactive with better visual representation. Now I'm going to pass this over to Christy so that she can tell you about our reporting solution.
Okay. So what is a dashboard? Operations Dashboard is an out-of-the-box web application with tools that are easy to use, making creation of a basic dashboard engaging and intuitive. It is used to provide key insights to your data on a single screen and allows users to interact with the data to see different results based on different criteria. Dashboards can help with visualizing trends, seeing how things are changing over time, and decision-making at a glance with live data in real time. When you first open our dashboard, you can immediately see that it is much more interesting and better organized than the old report. It has a web map embedded to quickly see where the customer contacts are coming from in the city, and with the symbology, see the different types of customer contacts. We have also utilized gauges, pie charts, and serial charts to display our data. As you will see in the next several slides, we took advantage of the widget stacking to be able to add much more data, graphics, and break down the data in different areas. The splash screen provides a brief overview of the purpose of the dashboard and how it works. It highlights specific sections of the dashboard to provide a more in-depth explanation of the data being represented. It lies behind a web map. The residency ward system of selecting city council members provides representation from different areas of the city. The concept means that the council candidate must live in the ward he or she seeks to represent. Council members can interact with the web map by clicking on their ward they represent in the selector list on the left, causing the map to zoom to their area to see that ward's customer contacts. The map displays by default the customer interaction for the last 30 days. They can also use multiple built-in tools to navigate the map, search by different criteria, and expand the layer list to see customer contacts for previous years or just the last 7 days. Below the map, indicators are stacked to show customer inquiry counts. They are broken down by 30 days, last 30 days, last 30-day average, and last 7-day average. If there's an increase in contacts, this number turns red. If it decreases, the number turns green. This highlighted area has stacked indicators that display the total number of active stormwater accounts. They are broken down by total active accounts, total residential accounts, HOA accounts, and non-residential. This highlighted area has 2 gauges stacked together. The white gauge represents the total amount of revenue we have billed compared to the estimated total collection for the year. The blue gauge represents the total number of bills generated to date. These numbers are updated nightly, so the billing data is automatically updated. There is no longer a need for staff to take the time to manually compile those calculations. This area is where we have stacked 2 different pie charts to look at the data at a glance. So the pie chart on the right depicts the percentage and number when hovered over of billing account inquiry types such as address changes and property sales. The one on the left depicts the percentage of contact methods used by customers such as voicemail, email, and service requests. So we now have 2 different ways to review the customer contact data. The last section is a stack of serial charts that shows a serial graph of total contacts by month for each year going back to 2018. We can easily see at a glance the fluctuations in contacts by month and see trends like which months have the highest and lowest number of contacts each year. Previously, the stormwater billing data group knew when the amount of customer contacts were increasing only when they would begin receiving complaints of late callbacks or escalated issues. Now with the dashboard, they can foresee customer contact increases and be more proactive. The numbers on the right side of the chart are levels set by stormwater billing data group that represent the impact on staff as customer inquiries increase. In the current year's serial chart, if we see the numbers reaching higher levels, we have preset adjustments and workflow priorities to handle the increase in contact and even bring in other GIS staff to assist if the levels reach 4 or 5. So as you have seen, we have been able to add much more data into our report and have made it more engaging and dynamic. The data is linked to our in-house SQL server, so it is always current data and is always automatically updated. Now that you've seen how great the dashboard is for our reporting needs, I want to take you behind the scenes through some of our challenges. Publishing. I published using ArcMap because at the beginning of this project, I had not had any experience with ArcGIS Pro. We are also running an older version of ArcGIS Server, version 10.6.1, and an older version of SQL Server, that version is 2008 R2. So the following challenges were experienced while using ArcMap to publish from an older server version. Spatial layers and tables that exist in an SD database work fine with the dashboard. When running an older version of SQL Server, we discovered that non-SD tables and views have to be wrapped in a query layer to work correctly with the dashboard. And you must have at least one spatial layer in your map to publish non-SD table views. We first tried publishing the existing server tables, non-SDE tables, as they were to Portal, but found working within the confines of the dashboard setup tools didn't meet all of our needs. We created table views of the server tables and published them, but lost some fields and functionality when viewing and trying to use the tables in the dashboard. We would get a no data error without any further explanation. What finally worked was to wrap each of the table views in a query layer within the publishing ArcMap MXD. When we published to Portal, we were able to then see all fields and access the views with no further issues. We also incorporated summarizations and calculations in SQL queries within the views before they were published to Portal, so we don't have to rely on the dashboard tools to perform those operations, which had been affecting the responsiveness of the dashboard. All of that had us republishing the maps service several times. In doing so, each time we republished, we had to repoint the widgets to the correct service. When you do that, it breaks many of the widget settings you had already set. Challenges with out-of-the-box tools. We encountered several limitations of settings within dashboard. The pie charts labels are limited in that we can only show percentage numbers in the labels and not percentage and total, or just totals. And we are limited on how different widgets in the map interact with each other when actions are set. For example, we wanted the indicators that show total customer contacts to change depending on what city council ward was selected in the selector list of the map. However, actions aren't available to be set on indicators. And we couldn't get the words to zoom in the way we wanted them to on the map when selected. They zoom out instead of into each ward. Some of the transforms are not common across all widgets. One example is length measurement can be transformed into feet or miles in one widget, but not in others. The dashboard can do a certain amount of aggregation itself, but it can cause a major slowdown in performance as it has to do all the work. The web map. The date time field in the web map and dashboard was set to the UTC time zone, which is the default configuration. There is a parameter setting on the map service to alter the time zone in which you have to then restart the service. This in turn updates the date time for both the web map and the dashboard. The web app data was not being updated automatically. We would have to hard reload the web page to see any updates. To fix this, we used ArcGIS Online Assistant to reset the refresh interval code in the JSON of the dashboard. We set it to refresh every 2 minutes. One caveat to this is that anytime there are changes to the web map, this will have to be reset. We were able to get the dashboard data in sync with the web map after we repointed the dashboard objects to the map layers instead of the views themselves. And we were able to use a safe search from our asset management system, CityWorks, service orders by creating a URL of the safe search to bring into the web map to display them. However, we decided to remove the CityWorks data because the displayed total of service orders didn't match up with the widget that displays the number of contacts. That is because not all contacts are through service orders. We decided to use the same table the widgets use in our map instead for consistency and less confusion from seeing different data between the web map and the widgets. Some things we are looking forward to: being updated to a later version of SQL Server in Portal and being able to use the updated functionality of the dashboard widgets. Currently, as you saw in the dashboard screenshots, our About section isn't in the prime location and gets lost under the map. It is too large to go inside a header, so we hope in the future that either a splash screen widget will be added to Operations Dashboard as it is in the Web App Builder, which according to Esri as of April 2020 was the only app a splash screen option is available in. In the meantime, we plan to delve into the Experience Builder app and some other ArcGIS Online apps to see what could work better. As I stated in our challenges, we would also like to see more customization options with the pie charts and serial charts. Heat maps. Currently in our version, only gradient symbols are available in the web map options, and they're okay, but heat maps are way cooler and a better visual representation. And that includes our presentation. We have a short amount of, we have contact information here. for any questions that we didn't get to today or that you may think of later. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions or thoughts about what we talked about today. And thank you for attending our session.
Well, thank you very much, Christy and Lindsay, for your presentation. Again, I appreciate you putting that together and recording that in short order and getting that to me so we can make it available. Hope you're staying safe and staying warm there in Durham. Again, contact information is available on the screen if you have questions for them as a follow-up. If you want to send them any comments, feel free to do that. Again, they were not able to join today, so if you do have questions, please direct them to the contact info on the screen. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we have a new round of sessions that will be starting, and then later on today, starting at 5 p.m., we will actually have our social. So please make plans to join us for the social. We're going to have some great breakout rooms. Moderators are ready to kick those rooms off and have some great discussion and content there. So we look forward to that. Also, the poster session and voting is still open. That remains open through 6:30 p.m. today. So if you haven't had a chance to do so, please get out there and vote for your session. So actually, I see Christy was able to join the chat. Okay, great. So if you do have a question, feel free to throw that in the chat. I will leave this session open for a few more minutes in case you do have additional questions. They can answer those for you in the chat. But thank you again for your time, and we will see you all again very soon. Thank you.